In a world where we take our freedoms for granted, imagine living where even the most powerful woman cannot choose her own fate. For 3 years, a security guard stood outside the bedroom of North Korea's First Lady and heard her crying every night, not from sadness, but from terror. Today, you'll hear the untold story of Ri Sol-ju, Kim Jong-un's wife, who lives in a golden cage, where designer handbags and luxury cars cannot buy a single peaceful night's sleep. This is what happens when power comes without freedom. Join us in standing up for human rights. Subscribe to hear more stories of freedom. Spring of 2016. That's when I was selected for Ri Sol-ju's security detail. For 10 years, I'd guarded party officials. Nothing special. Just another soldier doing his job. Then suddenly, I'm assigned to protect the Supreme Leader's wife. First day on the job. I arrived at an upscale residential area in central Pyongyang. High walls, guard posts, security cameras everywhere. Regular citizens couldn't get within 100 meters of this place. The security chief briefed me on the rules. What you see and hear stays inside these walls. Don't look directly at the First Lady unless necessary. And be careful at night. She gets sensitive. Sensitive? I didn't ask what that meant. Around 10 that morning, a luxury sedan pulled up. The door opened. Ri Sol-ju stepped out. Designer handbag, high heels, expensive clothes. This was the woman I'd only seen on TV, now standing right in front of me. First impression, glamorous. That's what struck me first, even more polished than on television. The clothes, the accessories, the makeup, perfect smile, graceful walk. So this is how the Supreme Leader's wife lives. The first month felt surreal. High-end restaurants, department stores, concert halls, places ordinary citizens could never dream of visiting. Ri Sol-ju always smiled, brightly, treated people kindly, carried herself with elegance. She really is the First Lady. That's what I thought, at first. But around the second month, things started seeming off. Night shift duty? Standing in the hallway, I could see light coming from her room. 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Almost every night, her light stayed on. Why doesn't she sleep? I asked a senior guard. She's always like that. Can't sleep. Heavy schedule? No, she just can't sleep. Strange. During the day, she seemed fine. Makeup perfect. Dressed impeccably. Smiling at people. But every night, she couldn't sleep. One night around 2 a.m., I was on hallway duty when an assistant rushed past. Get sleeping pills. Quickly. Now? Yes. The First Lady again. Again! That word stuck with me. How often does she take sleeping pills? 3 months in, late one night. I had the early morning shift. Around 3 a.m., I passed her room on the way to the bathroom. The door was slightly open. Lights on inside. Ri Sol-ju sat in front of her mirror, still in pajamas, hair uncombed, staring intensely at her reflection. Then she started touching her face, her eyes, her cheeks, her jawline. For a long time, she examined her features. Then, in a small voice, she whispered, "Wrinkles. I'm getting wrinkles." She pulled at her cheeks with her hands. Here, too, and here. Her voice trembled. Any woman in her 30s worries about aging. My wife does, too. But this was different. This was terror. The way her hands shook as she touched her face. The way she leaned into the mirror, examining every wrinkle, like someone being hunted. Ri Sol-ju suddenly lowered her head. Her shoulders shook. Was she crying? I couldn't be sure, but it looked that way. She sat there for a while, then reached for sleeping pills. I quietly left. Standing back in the hallway, my mind raced. Why is she like this? She's the Supreme Leader's wife. Has everything. Designer goods. Luxurious lifestyle. Power. Nothing to envy. Yet every night she can't sleep. Every night she trembles in front of mirrors. Every night she needs pills just to rest. Some deep fear is eating at her. That was my conclusion. Behind that perfect smile on TV. Beneath those expensive clothes. Inside those graceful movements. Something terrifying was hidden. I didn't know what yet, but I could feel it clearly. This woman lives in fear every single night. Power, luxury, status, none of it takes away that fear. What could possibly frighten her so much? That question stayed with me. A few days later, an incident gave me the answer. Winter of 2017. That December, heavy snow fell on Pyongyang. Temperatures dropped to minus 20 degrees Celsius. That's when it happened. The Supreme Leader caught the flu. At first, it seemed like a mild cold. But by day 2, his fever climbed past 38 degrees. Severe coughing. Hoarse voice. Official schedules were canceled for 3 days. Didn't seem like a big deal. The flu passes in a few days. I thought so. Other guards thought so too. He'll be fine soon. But Ri Sol-ju's reaction was different. From day one, something was off. She barely touched breakfast. Just 1 cup of coffee, then rushed to the medical office. How is he? Tell me exactly. He has a slight fever, but it will come down soon. How slight? What's his temperature? 38.2 degrees. Isn't that dangerous? No, First Lady. Standard flu symptoms. But Ri Sol-ju couldn't be reassured. That afternoon, she called the doctor twice more. Same questions on repeat. Are you sure he's okay? Absolutely sure? Night came. Things got worse. She started pacing the hallway. 10 steps forward, 10 steps back, biting her nails, muttering to herself. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Talking to herself. An assistant approached her. First Lady, please calm down. The Supreme Leader will recover soon. How do you know? Are you certain? Really certain? Her voice shook. Day 2 was worse. Ri Sol-ju came out without makeup, hair uncombed, completely unlike her usual perfectionist self. She threw on whatever clothes were nearby. She sat outside the medical office all day. Has the fever gone down? Not yet. Why not? Is something wrong? It takes time. He's taken medication. The medication? Is it working? Voice breaking. She skipped lunch. Skipped dinner, too. Just sat there waiting. Every time the doctor emerged, she rushed over. How is he? Any improvement? Getting better gradually. Gradually? He needs to recover quickly. That night, she clung to the doctor. Manage the Supreme Leader's health perfectly. Report immediately if anything seems wrong. Understood? Yes, First Lady. If anything, if something goes wrong. She couldn't finish the sentence. Third day morning, finally, good news arrived. The Supreme Leader's fever had broken. Coughing reduced significantly. Voice returned. The doctor reported to Ri Sol-ju. First Lady, the Supreme Leader has fully recovered. The moment she heard those words, Ri Sol-ju collapsed to the floor. Just crumpled right there and started crying. We survived. We survived. Strange phrasing. We survived? Why we? Shouldn't it be he survived? Why did she say we? That's when I understood. Her husband's health equals her survival. If Kim Jong-un dies, Ri Sol-ju is finished. Power, status, safety all gone. Maybe even her life at risk. I remembered the past. A party official I used to guard. Had considerable power. Then one day, sudden purge. Immediately, his wife and children were dragged away too. To political prison camps. Here, when the husband falls, the whole family falls. That's the reality for North Korea's elite. Ri Sol-ju knew this. Kim Jong-un has to stay healthy for her to survive. For her children to stay safe. For everything to remain intact. A few days later, Ri Sol-ju gathered all the doctors. From now on, manage the Supreme Leader's health more thoroughly. Check his diet. Make him exercise. Manage his stress. Understood? Yes. If you notice even the slightest abnormal symptom, report to me immediately. Right away. Got it? Yes, First Lady. Her voice was desperate. Watching her, I thought, this woman lives like this every day. Stakes her life on her husband's health. The Supreme Leader's wife, on the surface, seems to have everything. But in reality, everything depends on her husband's health. One bout of flu and she completely unravels. That was the first fear. Spring of 2018, around April that year, rumors started circulating within the party about Kim Kyung-hui, Kim Jong-un's aunt. She's alive. No, I heard she died. Are you sure? Even high-ranking officials didn't know for certain. Kim Kyung-hui used to rank second in the power hierarchy. After Jang Song-taek's execution, she disappeared. Some said she was purged. Others said she died of illness. Still others claimed she was alive. The rumor reached Ri Sol-ju's ears. One evening, Ri Sol-ju sat alone in her office. An assistant was reporting on a party meeting when Kim Kyung-hui came up. First Lady, have you heard the rumors about Comrade Kim Kyung-hui? What rumors? That she's alive. In that instant, Ri Sol-ju's expression froze. Auntie is alive? Nothing's confirmed. Ri Sol-ju bit her lip. If she did die, how did it happen? I don't. Purge or illness? No answer. That night, Ri Sol-ju started drinking. Alone. She rarely drank, but that night was different. Standing guard in the hallway, I could hear sounds from her room. Even Auntie. If even Auntie ended up that way, talking to herself. A moment later, she pulled out paper and started writing. I glimpsed the page. Names of Kim family members. Yang Song-taek, executed 2013. Kim Kyung-hui, no news. Kim Yong-nam, assassinated 2017. She made check marks. Dead people, disappeared people, purged people. Even family isn't safe, she muttered. Relatives, auntie, brothers. Her voice trembled. She moved to the mirror, looking at her own face. What if I become useless? She touched her face with her hands. If I get old, if I get sick, if I'm no longer needed? Her breathing quickened. Next morning, Ri Sol-ju secretly called in a plastic surgeon. I was on hallway duty and caught fragments of the conversation through the door. What procedures remove wrinkles? Botox, fillers, laser? Something safe. Nothing that leaves scars. Understood. Do it quickly, as soon as possible. Desperate voice. A few days later, she asked an assistant. Those purged officials' wives, where are they now? Most are in camps. Their families, too? Yes, entire families. Ri Sol-ju fell into a long silence. I see. From that night on, she slept even less. The sleeping pill dosage increased. From 1 pill to 2, then to 3. Still, she stayed awake until dawn. One night, around 2 a.m., standing guard in the hallway, sounds came from Ri Sol-ju's room. Will they discard me too? Talking to herself. If I become useless, I'm finished. Like Auntie. Like the others. Sobbing sounds. That's when I realized. This woman lives in fear of purges every single day. In North Korea, family doesn't guarantee safety. No matter how close you are, if you lose power, you're done. Even the Kim family wasn't exempt. Jang Song-taek was Kim Jong-un's uncle by marriage. Still executed. Kim Kyung-hwa was his blood aunt. Still disappeared. Kim Jong-nam was his half-brother. Still assassinated. Family, relatives, none of it matters. That's the reality for North Korea's elite. Ri Sol-ju knew this too. No matter how much she's the first lady, if she becomes useless, she can be discarded. If she ages, gets sick, is no longer needed, it's over. That's why she called plastic surgeons every day. That's why she stared at mirrors every day. That's why she trembled in fear every night. The second fear, purges. Summer of 2018, July 26th, Kim Ju-ae's birthday. She turned 9. A birthday party was held at a luxury hotel in central Pyongyang. Lavish, 5-tier cake, mountains of gifts, balloon decorations. The invited children were offspring of high-ranking party officials. On the surface, a perfect party. But Ri Sol-ju wasn't smiling. Even as children sang and danced, her expression remained dark. Only a forced smile when cutting the cake. She'd smile briefly for photos, then return to that frozen expression when cameras stopped. Why is she like that? Strange. Shouldn't she be happy on her daughter's birthday? After the party, night fell. Ri Sol-ju went to put Ju-ae to bed. I stood guard outside the bedroom. The door was slightly open. I could hear. Sleep well, Ju-ae. Ri Sol-ju's voice. Mama will protect you, no matter what. Brief silence. But if Mama disappears, she couldn't continue. You. What happens to you? Choking sounds. She seemed to sit there for a while, watching her daughter sleep. I'm sorry for bringing you into this world. Small voice. If Mama could have chosen. No more words. Next morning, Ri Sol-ju spoke firmly to Kim Jong-un. I'll personally handle Ju-ae's education. Education? The teachers are all ready. No, I can't trust anyone. That's a bit. I'll do it myself. I'll arrange her schedule too. Resolute. From that day, Ri Sol-ju personally selected teachers. Thorough background checks. Ideology verification. Family background, everything examined. She checked Ju-ae's schedule daily. What did you learn today? Math. Did the teacher say anything strange? No, Mama. If anyone says anything to you, tell Mama immediately. Understood? Yes, Mama. Bordering on overprotection. When Ju-ae went to school, 3 bodyguards accompanied her. Monitored her playing with friends. All food tested. One day, an assistant cautiously spoke up. First Lady, aren't you being too strict? About what? With Comrade Ju-ae, you're too. Shut up. Ri Sol-ju snapped. You don't understand how dangerous this world is. How everything can collapse in an instant. But she's my daughter. I'll protect her, no matter what. Obsession. At night, she'd check on Ju-ae's room. Is she sleeping? Is she comfortable? Any pain? Every hour, she'd look in. One night, Ri Sol-ju lay down next to Ju-ae and whispered, You shouldn't have to live like this. Quiet voice. Not like Mama living in fear every day. But how do I protect you? If Mama's gone, who protects you? Unanswered question. From the hallway, I watched. She worries about her children's future. Any mother would. No parent doesn't worry about their kids. My wife worried about our son constantly. But Ri-Sol-ju's worry was different. Here, when mama falls, the children fall too. I remembered purged officials from the past. What happened to their children? Kids sent to camps with their parents. Kids sent to orphanages. Kids whose very names were changed. Ri-Sol-ju knew this. If she falls, Jue won't be safe. If Kim Jong-un is gone, the children are in danger. That's why she lived in constant anxiety. That's why she protected them obsessively. The third fear, her children's future. That same summer, one day in August, a celebration for the party's 73rd anniversary, held at Mansudae Assembly Hall. High-ranking officials, military generals, party workers, everyone gathered. Magnificent event. Speeches, performances, banquets. Ri-Sol-ju attended. Sitting beside Kim Jong-un, smiling, waving, applauding. Graceful as always. Then it happened. A young female official came to give a report. Looked to be early 20s. Tall, pretty face, clear voice. Supreme leader, reporting on party work results. Confident demeanor. Kim Jong-un nodded while receiving the report. Then smiled briefly. Good work. You're young but capable. Thank you, Supreme Leader. A few seconds of conversation. Nothing special. Just a superior encouraging a subordinate. Ordinary scene. But Ri-Sol-ju's expression changed. The smile vanished. Eyes sharpened. She looked that young official up and down. Head to toe. After the event in the car, Ri-Sol-ju asked an assistant. Who was that woman earlier? Which one? The one giving the report. Young and pretty. Ah, Comrade Ri-Suk-young? Yes, her. Give me her details. She's 23. Kim Il-sung University graduate. How old? 23. Ri-Sol-ju fell silent, just stared out the window. For a long time, no words. Quiet in the car. They arrived home. Ri-Sol-ju went straight to the bedroom. The door slammed shut. About an hour passed. An assistant quietly told me, check on her. Something's wrong. I knocked. First lady, are you all right? No answer. May I come in? Come in. I opened the door. Ri-Sol-ju sat in front of the mirror, still wearing her clothes but makeup removed, staring intensely at the mirror, touching her own face, eyes, cheeks, jawline, neck. For a long time she examined herself, then muttered, I'm 36. Small voice, after having Jue gain some weight. She leaned closer to the mirror. 23. 23 years old. Her breathing quickened. From the next day, Ri-Sol-ju started cutting meals. Skipped breakfast. Just salad for lunch. Only a few pieces of fruit for dinner. First lady, you need to eat. I'm not hungry. But your health. I'm fine. This is better. 1 week passed. She'd lost 2 kilograms. Face noticeably thinner. Signs of dizziness appeared. First lady, please eat. Still not enough. Need to lose more. 2 weeks. Ri-Sol-ju collapsed climbing stairs. Legs gave out from weakness. We rushed to support her. You need to see a doctor. No. But I said, no, I'm fine. Still, the diet continued. 3 weeks in. Ri-Sol-ju cried, looking in the mirror. Need to look young. Have to look young to survive. She covered her face with her hands. 23. Can't go back to that age. So what do I do? She sobbed. An assistant cautiously spoke. First lady, the Supreme Leader loves you. Shut up! Ri-Sol-ju screamed. You don't know. What happens when women age? What happens when young, pretty women appear? But it all ends, everything! Hysterical. That night, Ri-Sol-ju drank alone. I used to be young, she muttered. Now I'm 36. Getting wrinkles, gaining weight, aging. She emptied her glass. New women, young women. They'll push me aside. From the hallway, I watched. This system treats women as disposable, no matter how high the position. When you age, you're discarded, replaced by younger women. You see it with North Korean elite men. Wife gets old, find a new woman. She ages, replace again. Ri-Sol-ju knew this too. The fourth fear, younger women. Summer of 2019. By then, I'd already decided to defect. In a few months, I'd leave. Just weeks left on duty. One evening in July. A gathering of high-ranking party officials. Ri-Sol-ju attended. A banquet. Alcohol served, lots of food. After the event, heading home. Ri-Sol-ju was drunk. She usually drank very little, but that night was different. She stumbled getting out of the car. First lady, are you all right? I'm fine. Just a bit drunk. We helped her inside. As we tried to seat her in the living room, she called for the assistant. You, sit down for a moment. Yes, sit with me. Let's talk. The assistant sat cautiously. I stood guard in the hallway. The door was open. I could hear. Risolju asked. Do you think you could escape? What do you mean? I'm asking seriously. Her voice trembled. From this hell, could you get out? First Lady, answer me. Honestly, the assistant hesitated before speaking. Impossible. Why? The whole world is watching. How could the First Lady? Right. Risolju laughed. A hopeless laugh. I'm trapped. Completely. I'll live here forever, until I die. She covered her face with her hands. Even when I'm old and useless, I can't leave. Even sick, I can't leave. Even dead, I can't leave. Her voice grew smaller. My grave. It'll be here somewhere. Somewhere in Pyongyang. She looked out the window. Freedom. What is that? She muttered. Never even thought about it. What freedom means. The assistant couldn't say anything. People in other countries. They go where they want, do what they want, eat what they want. Me, what am I? A bird in a cage. A golden cage, but still a cage. She choked up. I want to leave. From this hell, please let me leave. Hearing those words, my resolve hardened. I'm getting out, I promised myself. I won't live like that. Never. Power meant nothing. Designer goods, luxurious life, all meaningless. Without freedom, what's the point? Risolju had everything but freedom. Couldn't go where she wanted. Couldn't do what she wanted. Couldn't escape. Had to stay by Kim Jong-un's side forever. Had to play First Lady forever. Had to stay trapped in that system forever. That's the most terrifying fear. I realized, unable to escape. No matter how painful, no matter how scared, absolutely no way out. That was the fifth fear. After that day, I rushed my defection preparations. Had to get out as soon as possible. Risolju will live in that golden cage forever. But I was different. I'm leaving. To freedom. September 2019. The night before my last duty day. Next day, I'd take off the security uniform. 1 week later, cross the border. Everything prepared. That night, I had the early morning shift. Standing guard outside Risolju's bedroom. Around 2 a.m., suddenly a scream. No! Risolju's voice. They're killing me. Trying to kill me. A nightmare. I knocked urgently. First Lady! No answer. Just continued screaming. I'm coming in! I opened the door. Risolju thrashed on the bed, drenched in sweat, clutching the blanket, screaming. First Lady, wake up! I shook her shoulder. It's a dream, just a dream. Risolju opened her eyes, gasping for breath, looking around, checking where she was. Where am I? Your bedroom. You're safe. She caught her breath for a while, then covered her face with her hands. Again, that dream again, trembling. Water, get me water. I brought water. She took it with shaking hands and drank. Sleeping pills. Where are the pills? She rummaged through the drawer and pulled out medication. 1 pill, 2 pills, 3 pills, 3 of them. First Lady, that's too many. It's fine. This is what I need to sleep. She lay back down, but couldn't sleep. Tossed every 30 minutes. Moaning sounds. Someone who doesn't know how to sleep peacefully. That's what I thought. Morning came. When the sun rose, Risolju got up. Went to the bathroom, washed her face, applied makeup, changed clothes. In 30 minutes, a completely different person. Makeup perfect. Hair neatly brushed. Expensively dressed. Designer shoes and handbag. She practiced smiling in the mirror. Good. This'll work. Talking to herself. Leaving the entrance, she spoke to the guards. Official event today. Ready? Yes, First Lady. Drove to the event venue. At the venue, people applauded. Risolju walked in waving. Camera flashes burst. I saw her on the TV screen. Bright, graceful smile. Confident demeanor. Dignified gestures. Perfect. Another guard said. I didn't respond. That woman lives in nightmares every night. I thought to myself. Wears a mask during the day. Trembles in fear at night. Nobody knew the real Risolju. Not the TV viewers. Not the event attendees. Not even the close officials. What they saw was the perfect First Lady. But in reality, nightmares every night. Can't sleep without pills. Lives in constant terror of 5 fears. After the event, back in the car, Risolju's smile vanished. Back to that tired expression. Tonight's schedule? Nothing. Then let's go home. Voice drained of energy. Arrived home, changed clothes, removed makeup, lay on the bed. Tonight again. That dream again, she muttered. That was the last time I saw Ri-Sol-ju. That evening, I took off my security uniform. It's over. Cleaning out my locker, I thought. I'm leaving. Can't live like that. Ri-Sol-ju will live like that forever. But I was different. 1 week later, I crossed the border, walked toward freedom. I arrived in South Korea in November 2019. 3 months of education at Hanawan. In February 2020, I rented a small room in a Seoul Goshiwon, less than 10 square meters. That night, for the first time, I slept peacefully. This is freedom, I realized. No nightmares, didn't wake at night. No sleeping pills needed. Just close my eyes comfortably and it was morning. No fear of being killed. No worry about purges. No surveillance. No walking on eggshells. This is freedom. Tears came. A few days later, the National Intelligence Service came for questioning. Asked what I did in North Korea, what I saw. Can you tell us about Ri-Sol-ju? Yes. I pulled out prepared materials. Ri-Sol-ju fears 5 things every day. 5 things? First, Kim Jong-un's death. If her husband dies, she's finished too. The investigator took notes. Second, her own purge. Terror of being discarded when useless. Third, danger to her children. She knows if she falls, the kids aren't safe either. Fourth, younger women. Constant fear of being replaced. Fifth, impossibility of escape. The despair of never getting out. After I finished, the investigator nodded. This is the reality for North Korea's elite families. I see. Imagine what ordinary citizens endure. Thank you for the information. A few months later, a broadcast interview request came. A Defector story program. At first, I thought I'd decline. Then I changed my mind. People need to know. Even North Korea's elite live in terror. I entered the studio. Sat in front of cameras. What kind of person is Ri-Sol-ju? The host asked. On the surface, she seems perfect. In reality, she trembles in fear every night. Can you be specific? 5 fears. Husband's death. Her own purge. Children's danger. Younger women. Impossibility of escape. I explained each one. Even the Supreme Leader's family lives like this. What about ordinary citizens? That's the essence of that system. Nobody's free. Nobody sleeps peacefully. After the broadcast aired, many people contacted me, other defectors, human rights activists, journalists. Thank you for your testimony. It helps reveal North Korea's reality. But I just told the truth. Present day, I work at a small restaurant in Seoul. My wife and son, left behind in the north, defected in 2021. We live together now. Yesterday was Sunday. I took my son to a nearby park. November, but the weather was warm. My son ran around the playground. I sat on a bench watching. Here, children run and laugh. Ordinary, but I was grateful. Suddenly thought of Ri-Sol-ju. She's still trembling in that golden cage. Every night, nightmares. Every night, counting wrinkles in mirrors. Every night, tormented by 5 fears. I felt sorry for her, but also angry. Still, she's a perpetrator, buying designer goods while citizens starve. Enjoying luxury, contributing to maintaining that system. Victim and perpetrator. That was Ri-Sol-ju. My son ran over. Dad, look, pigeons! Yeah, they're pretty. The pigeons took flight, flying freely through the sky. Freedom means living without fear, I said to myself, sleeping peacefully at night, not worrying about tomorrow. In North Korea, nobody can do that. Not ordinary citizens, not the powerful, not even the Supreme Leader's family. That's the essence of that system. I took my son's hand and walked home. In a free country, without fear.